And welcome back. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Mirage F1C-200, and I wanted to cover this one first out of all the rank 7 premiums. Because about 2 days ago I heard some people say that the Mirage F1 is one of the best 11.3s or rank 7 premiums that you can pick up right now. Because it's a jack of all trades. Something I find rather laughable, considering the only resemblance that this thing has to a jack of all trades is that it's a master of none. It's one of the worst 11.3s that you can find in the game right now. And if you ask which planes are actually worse than it, well, let me list them out for you. First of all, we have the Tornado, which is pretty shit, but if you want to use it as a bomb sleigh, at least it has some use for that, because it has quite a respectable bomb load, whereas the Mirage F1C simply does not. We then go on to France again, and we click on the Mirage F1C-200, which is the exact same vehicle, but it only has one gun less, and other than that, it's the exact same vehicle. So is it worse? Sure, but it's basically the same vehicle. So we have one plane that's worse than the Mirage, but at least is more useful in ground RB. So it already has that going for it. So they're probably equally useless, because this thing is bad in every setting. And then we have another plane, which has even a gun less than the F1C-200, and it's the Mirage 2000 DR1. And the funny thing is here, it might actually be more effective in air RB, because the flight performance is infinitely better. And it still has the main element, which are the magic 2s, which are probably going to be about 90-ish% of your total kills in the thing. So now we have 3 planes that are in the same bracket of bad, but they still beat it in some regards, which is, I think, pretty damn sad. And then let's not forget that at 11.3 you are the same BR as the F14, the same BR as the MLD, the EJ Kai, and you are a lower BR than something like a MiG-21 BIS. And the MiG-21 BIS, while it's only 15 kilometers an hour quicker than you, which might not sound like a lot, because this thing rips at 1351 IAS, the MiG-21 BIS or something like the J7E also does simply everything better than you. They accelerate better, they are quicker than you, they turn better than you. The only thing that you have over the MiG-21 BIS is that it shits away its speed a little bit quicker, but it doesn't really matter because it can just yo-yo on your ass basically forever, and there is nothing you can do about it. So the flight performance of this thing is piss poor. What about the loadout? Well, the magic 2s here are actually pretty solid. It also has a pretty good amount of flares. That's unfortunately where the goodness of this loadout kinda ends. You then have the R530Fs on the wing routes. They're not exactly very stellar, and there's 4 reasons for them. The R530Fs are slow. They take quite a while to start tracking off the rail. It takes forever to actually launch it once you get a radar lock. It takes like 2 seconds. And then lastly, they're also very easy to chaff and to notch. So even if everything goes perfect and you launch it first, if the enemy pulls in and shoots an AIM-7F at you, there's still a very big reason you're gonna eat a missile first. You're not gonna be able to guide your missile into the enemy because you're already dead. And you're not even gonna be able to get a trade in that way. And then lastly is the goofy R missile, which is the R530E. It's not exactly meta or exactly stellar, but it is pretty funny. It has decent range, it has a pretty good seeker, and it doesn't ping anyone's RWR. It's pretty easy to flare, unfortunately. The thing is, it's very slow. And people just don't really see it coming. It's pretty funny. People try to dodge it, but it's just so damn slow that it just kind of dogfights you. Not a good missile. It's funny when you get a kill with it. But nowadays, if you can't get used with it, you can just jettison it mid-air. So you're really not going to be missing too much performance, because empty pylons in this game are actually just not modeled, and they do not actually affect your performance. But that's enough of the hangar talk. First, before we get started, thanks to all my YouTube members and my patrons and everyone looking to get this decal to put over your vehicle. You can use the discount code down below. You get 3% off, I get a cut, you get a decal, everybody wins. So, what makes this thing so painful? Well, it's basically that you don't have an advantage over anything that you face. Right now we have an F14 on our 6, and I really can't do anything else other than try to get a teammate to go for him, which is exactly what happens. He's way too focused on us. He sees a free kill basically, because that's exactly what we are. And the MiG-29 behind him is just raining missiles down on him until one of them will finally connect. Right now we are on 0 score. We haven't done anything yet because we get locked down at the start by an F14, and we can't really try to reverse him. We can't really try to dogfight him. We can't try to go head on with him and joust with our missiles, because our missiles are simply inferior. And we can't really do anything if he has flares. If he doesn't have flares, we can try to magic him in the head on. But realistically, you're not gonna find many stock F-14s anymore. We shoot the R530E at him, then we wait with the Magic 2 a little bit longer to try to point blank him, and you hope that he doesn't get the ability to flare. Maybe some desync, maybe some lag, maybe some brain lag in the guy's head. Unfortunately, he does actually flare it. And now I'm gonna try to turn around and hope that I can help the MiG-29 before the rest of the enemy team comes in. Now we're gonna have a little bit of a skill issue here. I'm gonna try to lock him up. I should have probably tried to just magic him, but I saw that he was a very easy shot. So I line up the guns, I squeeze the trigger, and I managed to just underlead. Now sure, this plane is bad and the guns are bad, but that's the worst miss of my career. Then we go down, we go sideways to flare the F-16's AIM-9L, we go underneath the EJ, MiG-29 goes down and the F-16 starts to turn into us. I noticed this, I'm trying to cut in, I notice that the other F4EJ is actually turning in front of us, we switch targets, we crit him, and now we pull back onto the F-16, and because we have the position here and we are slow enough to cut inside of his loop, we managed to just blow him out of the air. If he had played that a little bit better, we would have died right there. And then the F4EJ is turning back in, but he's crit, we lock him up, we shoot a 530F at him, he only has flares, and he eats the missile right in his cockpit. I hope that kind of makes up for the horrible miss that I just got before it, but the only reason I won that one is because those two guys completely fumbled the 2v1 versus one of the worst planes that they could have faced. Then I want to show you some Magic 2 shots. Basically, I mean, they're pretty flare resistant, they're not quite AIM-9Ls, but they're pretty resistant nonetheless, and they pull quite madly. As you can see, he pulls in very easily, he flares, side aspect, still connects quite handily, and then a little bit later, we lock onto this F4E, we stay low to make sure that if we get jousted, we can simply go low and dodge the missile, and the F4E is barely notching us, and there you have it, it's instantly defeated. So we break off, we just go for the A7E right next to us, and we clean him up because he's basically a free kill. But the issue with the 530Fs is that they are super easy to defeat. They get notched before your radar does. Which is why I like the R530E that I shoot right here. It's like 4.5 kilometer shot. The missile is pretty slow, and this makes it so that it's actually pretty maneuverable because it doesn't have to pull that many Gs. And the missile just kinda slowly but surely flies into your enemy. Then F-14 dives on us, he's going much quicker. We zero throttle. We try to slow down as much as humanly possible because that's the only chance you're going to get against an F-14. It's the same BR as us, by the way. It's faster, turns better, accelerates faster. He just does everything better, even slows down quicker. So I'm just trying to slow down as much as possible to try to get him in front of us. Luckily for us, this guy flies a little bit too close to a tree and ends up kissing it. Without that tree right there, I probably would have died a very painful death, so thank you Mother Nature for being useful. Maybe my next motorcycle will actually be electric to save the environment a little bit. Okay, let's not go that far. So, we get locked on, we simply turn around. I don't want to contest basically anyone in this thing. I like to be left alone when I fly this. Because the second you go defensive on this thing, your game is basically over unless you have a teammate or unless they just royally fuck it up. Which very often doesn't happen, unfortunately. But this game is going to show you exactly how annoying this thing is to fly. For two reasons. We're going to have a little bit of a normal match, and then at the end we actually have to 1v1 a guy, which is going to pose a little bit of an issue. I start flaring, chaffing and stuff because I hear a missile behind us. I know it's a teammate, but I just do not feel like collecting it. That missile is on his way and he should definitely reach the MiG-21, so I'm not really worried about locking him up. I don't want to give this guy too many warnings, I'm not sure what kind of missile it is. There it is, he is dead. We don't have to waste our missiles on that. And now I'm just gonna fly towards the middle of the pack here. Who do I want to kill first? Well, F-16s and F-14s are definitely the main targets. We also have a J-7E in orbit, who is a little bit dangerous here because he is, well, going to start orbital striking people. Most guys will probably not see him, and it's gonna be a little bit of an issue. I noticed the F-16 is coming head on with us. We don't get a lock in. He's already flying directly at us. I'm not even going to try to contest him. I don't want to get locked up and aim 7. So I'm just going to break off, start notching before we're even there. At that kind of range, by the time I get the lock on him, it's going to be at like 3 kilometers. By the time I get the missile off. And then the missile still needs to start tracking. I still need to get it off the rails. And in that entire time, he can shoot the aim 7F like 2 seconds after I do. And I'm still gonna be collecting it. I lock onto this F-16 and notice how I'm simply not gonna get a solid lock. So I switch to the Magic 2, it's a little bit too late, and Why I fight it, I don't know, but keep in mind, when I was recording this gameplay, I was still 39 degrees Celsius. I felt like absolute dog shit. I still kinda do, it's a lot better, as you can probably hear by my voice. But man, I wasn't thinking straight when I was collecting this gameplay. Luckily, it doesn't really matter, because the F1C is simply trash, regardless of how well you fly it. So we lock onto the F14, I notice that he's shooting at someone else, he's probably gonna be distracted. Luckily for us, he is, and he collects the missile, and that's the only type of kills you're probably going to get with this missile, unless they're very slow in a head-on and they don't have any chaff. We shoot on the J7, he does have some chaff, missile instantly gets defeated. Then we dodge the F16, which is kind of a problem, because now I'm together with an F16 as well as the J7E. I'm just gonna stay on the F16 because I'm already on the Guy 6, and the J7E is flying into the opposite direction. The Magic 2 finds his mark, and now we are 1v1 with a J7E. He ends up breaking off, so we both land, and I'm just gonna start off with firing both my radar missiles at him, because if he gets stuck in the dogfight, I'm not gonna be able to do anything against this guy anyway. He starts notching and chaffing, both missiles instantly get defeated, and now my worst nightmare comes through, and we get past the head-on, and he's in a J7E, and he's gonna do everything better. He's faster than us, he accelerates better, he turns better, he holds speed better. So I really just have to hope that this guy is gonna make an absolute detrimental mistake that's gonna send him back to the hangar. We jettison the heavy missile and we keep the Magic 2s. We're then gonna start trying to dogfight this guy. And let me tell you, this is not gonna be a pretty fight. It's gonna suck very badly, because this guy knows that he just has to not fly into my guns. And that's the only thing he needs to do. First missile out, only 3 to go. We flare once, PL5, I mean they're very susceptible to flares. So it's gonna do exactly nothing. And we're gonna try to keep it somewhat fast, so we can actually use speed difference in this kind of fight, so we can still disengage. We start turning in. Again, one flare, it misses. We instantly get behind him. And I could have killed him right here. The issue is I lost control. The thing is, I needed to kill him right here, because right now he knows what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start turning to the right. I'm trying to cut off his flight path. I know exactly where he is going. I simply don't have the nose authority to actually do anything with it. So I dive out again, I'm gonna pick my speed back up, and the J7E is simply gonna go vertical and come back down on us, and we reset once again. So we're just gonna wait for this guy to pick its speed back up, because I'm not gonna turn into him. I want to wait until he gets his speed back. Because right now, if he's very slow, we can't energy trap him, even if we have more energy. And that's because he holds his speed much better, he accelerates better. And we don't have the nose authority to use an energy advantage to actually get a nose on him. So we kind of are just forced to wait for an overshoot. He shoots the third missile, he only has one left now. And all we have to do is simply try to get the shot again. So we slow down a little bit, and I try to do something else every time. This guy is not really biting. He's clear that he's paying attention to what I'm doing and not so much to what I did last time. I get on this 6 and I'm not trying to follow him right here. I'm trying to predict to where he's going, and I'm doing a good job at it. I simply just don't have the performance in this plane to use it. This guy is flying very predictably, but it doesn't matter because I don't have the plane performance to actually punish him for it. He plays it right. I'm not hating on him in that regard, because he's playing it right. It doesn't matter that he's playing it predictably. For all I know, he's trying to bait me into doing certain things. But it doesn't matter, because I can't really punish him as long as he doesn't make any critical mistakes. The problem for me is he needs to make a mistake very badly. He needs to turn the wrong way. And even then, if he turns the wrong way and then just keeps stamping on the elevator, he's still going to get above my nose, and I'm still not going to get a very reliable shot. I notice that he's slowing down quite drastically, so I'm not even going to take that fight. I'm simply going to extend away instantly and hope for him to try again. I'm never going to take a fight with a plane that's much better than us if he's already slowing down, because he's just going to be able to ride our ass very easily, and there is absolutely nothing I can do about it. The issue is we're going pretty slow now. So I'm just waiting for this guy to speed up. I hope that he doesn't try to do it again. So in true mind game fashion, this time I'm gonna slow down, because I hope that he doesn't think about doing it himself, because he just did it and it didn't work. My prediction was correct, and I somewhat get behind him, and I'm almost able to get the shot in here. But again, I just don't have the lead. I almost get it, but I'm not gonna be able to hit that, not at this speed, with this authority, with guns as slow as these. Sure, I might hit it occasionally, but I'd have no chance here. 2 minutes of fuel left. We have to break off again because he's starting to win the fight too hard. The slower we go, the bigger his advantage becomes. And we just have to start picking up speed again. And this time I can't even afterburn. So he's going to start catching us pretty quickly. He's also bleeding a lot of speed in those turns. He needs to do a full 180 to actually start catching us again. And he still roughly goes the same speed as us. Now I can't try to run away from him. Sure, I can run to the airfield to see if I can kill him with AA. But as I said, it doesn't matter if it's an unwinnable fight. I'm going to try to win it like this. Unless of course I run out of fuel. So we will kind of fly towards our base. I'm not going to start camping it. I just want to make sure that I actually reach it in case I do run out of it. So again we start air braking, because well I kind of have to this time. He's still going supersonic, he's going much quicker than us. There's really no reason for us to stick to this fight. I kind of hoped that he was going to be so slow that he tried to go straight vertical without turning, because that's what a lot of people try to do. He didn't, however, he just tries to keep the pressure on. And because of that I can do exactly nothing about this. We have 30 seconds of fuel left, and I just have to start going to the airfield now. There is no chance that I'm gonna be winning this fight in the short term, and I'd rather just try to glide back and see if I can land it. And that's basically what we do. We fly directly towards the airfield. We're not in AA range yet, so if we run out of fuel and he breaks off, we're Gucci. If he tries to stick on us, then we're dead. So we're flying towards the airfield. I notice that he's not really sticking, he's kind of braking left and right. So what do? Well, I'm not even gonna try to contest him here. If he kills us, he kills us. If we can't kill him with an engine, we're not going to kill him without one either. Try to kill him right here. Don't manage to get a shot. The fucking sun doesn't help either, but he's pulling too tightly anyway. He breaks off, he's going to let us land. We both rearm, but he has to fly much further, so this time we are going to have a massive advantage. A little bit of a repeat of the start of the match, except the roles are reversed, because he was in orbit, shooting down IR missiles on top of other people. Now it's my turn, so I turn my radar off and he's not gonna get a warning from us. So if he isn't looking at the map to see the red circle, or if he isn't looking around to see where we are, then he's not gonna be able to see this. It's a bit of a dick move, but I wouldn't have won from this guy anyway. We are down on tickets, and if you can't win in performance, well then you just have to play like a rat. Thank you all for watching, hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.